that music you may or may not hear is from Mighty Number 9, which Ian is going to come in here and show us in a bit. Hey Taylor, good to see you. Our stream was a little bit delayed today because we had a meeting, and the meeting ran long because when you get designers in a room and start asking questions about how they should change their game, that takes a long time. Hey, look, Ian's here, but I've got the camera completely on me. So, oh, there, oh my gosh. All right, so whenever you're ready to play, I think you should click one of these. Do you know what side of what end of the screen we ought to be on? Click the indicated button.
Let's put us...
Oh, we need to Alt-Tab, I think, maybe?
I think we might need to Alt-Tab, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Let's put us...
Lower right?
Here for now, yeah.
Okay. And then I think you have to click back on the window for the game. My preview window in XSplit is bigger than the window that I've got Ian playing the game in.
Hey, Tervoma.
Tervoma, and Cloudcraft is here, and Leak Code. Nice.
All right, main game mode. No data, new game.
Because he's playing as me.
Yep. I'm not a maniac, so I have actually not played a ton of this since it came out. But oh boy, are we not going to watch these? There's so much talking in this game.
Well, that's when I think of Mega Man, what I think about is lots of talking.
Professor.
Hi, have some more talking. All right.
Hey, that
So look,
professor's
it's
got my
Mega
hair.
He does.
Oh.
So anyone who's played Mega Man X, or even just watched that good but with too much screaming video about Mega Man X, will probably recognize, hey, this is the tutorial level for Mega Man X, basically.
Oh, really?
And it is, but it's not as good.
Oh, in what ways is it not as good?
It's just less interesting and teaches fewer things.
Oh.
And it's more explicit. That tutorial, and again, there's a great video that walks you through the Mega Man X tutorial level and talks about how, you know, it has enemies roll at you right off the bat so that you learn jumping very inherently. Like, it's a very good...
Whose video is this? Where do we see this?
It's all, honestly, I can't remember.
Is it on YouTube?
It's a YouTube video where a cartoon man yells too much while explaining why Mega Man X is good.
If you think you can find it, I'll put like a link up there or something like that so people can go to see
we'll
that
find
video.
it at some point.
Maybe I put a link there. I don't know.
Cloudcraft thinks he has it favorited if Jeff wants the link. Yeah, if you can find it, go ahead and drop it.
Yeah, go ahead and, message it to me on Twitter or something.
There's my dash. I don't remember. Yeah, there it is.
Did you just absorb the cells?
So this game is not just like Mega Man X because you've got this dash move that's actually pretty fun.
Of course, I designed it.
That kind of reminds me a little bit of what my favorite side-scrolling combat game, which was the Dishwasher Dead Samurai, was all about dashing, but it's like dashing in omnidirectional dashing. That whole game was just about just arbitrarily placing yourself all over the screen and hitting enemies. So to the degree that games remind me of the Dishwasher, I like them.
I needed that.
So the dashing and stuff feels good in this, and I wish that the game was super focused on it. So you can see I just picked up like a themed shot. I'm wasting it because I'm bad at video games.
Do you need to like dash? Okay, I was wondering about that.
You can do it. You can dash.
You just dash into a guy?
I did. Oh, I fell down before I beat those guys. And look, if you went the wrong way, you found a thing.
Nice.
Just like a Mega Man game.
Just like all video games.
Cloudcraft notes that later Mega Man games have the dash. Do they have the dash such that it like kills and combos and stuff? Because that's the part that I believed to be new. Full disclosure, I am not a Mega Man game expert by any means.
No. Yeah, you spent most of your time playing Mr. Driller, so I understand.
My favorite platformers are the ones where you have to jump on people, or in the case of Bonk games, jump under people.
So yeah, I definitely have a habit when I'm playing video games of like looking at the level and trying to figure out which way the level designer is channeling me to try to go, and then go in the opposite direction first to see if I can, see if there's any secrets and stuff like that. Sometimes that works really well. In Doom, that works for me really well. There's other games where my attempts to do that just completely fail and I miss everything. But like Inside, I found one secret in Inside.
Yeah, you did not find any secrets in that game, and there were a lot of them too.
Yeah, just not for me. There weren't. That's a trash can. Being attacked by, or actually, you know what that reminds me of? The robots in the black hole. All of these robots are the robots from the black hole.
The Black Hole is one of my favorite movies where it so clearly has had like a massive script rewrite.
What was the purpose of the script rewrite?
Oh, to like add kid stuff into it. Like,
is
that
it
was
like,
a really
is it like,
dark movie.
Is it like Jack the Giant Killer?
Yeah, like it clearly was a really dark movie. Like it ends with all the bad guys in hell. That's sorry guys, spoilers for the Disney.
I need to watch it again. It's been since I was a kid.
Spoilers for Disney's The Black Hole. It ends with all the bad guys literally in hell.
Okay, I have a pet peeve for games where I have a jump of a particular height, and enemies are at a height that's other than that. I can only shoot them on the way up or on the way down. That just always bothers me when I have to do that.
So Cloudcraft is saying it doesn't kill, but what I'm saying it looks like it's... So I might just be dumb and bad about how I'm using the dash, because there are... Well, maybe there isn't an up dash. There's a down dash.
So the enemies go into this like state where you can dash through them?
Yes.
So can you also kill them in other ways when they're in that state? Or
yeah, you can just keep shooting them, but then you don't get points.
You get like no points?
I don't. Yeah, it's not as many points or something. And I think dashing through them is also how you pick up charged like special shots. Like right now, I've got red shots. I'm skipping.
Red shots are good shots, right? I was gonna dash over his head. Now you're just stuck behind him and you gotta keep taking damage.
Oh no. I dashed too soon.
Yeah. There's always something weird for me about games like this that like, it's really hard to make 3D look good in a side scroller. I mean, there are definitely games that can do it, but like I remember, you know, a couple of times working on a 3D platformer and doing like, ooh, I'm gonna do a 2D section. I'm gonna lock the camera and stuff. And getting the scale of things right and making things feel like they actually fit in the world is really hard. When a game like Inside does it really well, it's kind of a shocker because it's
right.
This game I feel like shows that it's hard, you know, to make something look quite right.
Great Noob is asking if this is a Mega Man fan game or a game that just looks a lot like Mega Man. It's
an homage by the original creator.
Yeah, it's an homage, but I don't think he made the original Mega Man, but the guy who made a lot of Mega Man games.
Did a Kickstarter
for this.
Yeah.
And Cloudcraft, at least at this point in the game, I cannot
wall jump, change direction, and dash.
I can dash and then dash again, so I can dash and then dash in another direction at the end. Here's the character that's not technically roll.
Thank goodness.
Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah.
Blah blah blah.
New content.
I was doing a similar. I was like hammering through Banner Saga conversations this morning too.
So this is a piece of DLC I got for pre-ordering. There's a character I could go fight now and get special abilities from. But I'm gonna go do the missions that you're supposed to do next.
Is it like Mega Man in that you like defeating bosses, getting unlocked special abilities you can take with you into the future?
That is my understanding.
All set, then?
Again, I have barely played the game. I just wanted to check it out. So Cloudcraft says it's based more on classic than X. It's definitely got some of both in it. I mean, there was a grabbing a ledge that I just did there.
Not exactly ideal conditions.
Oh hey, thanks for the link, Code.
Okay, Mighty number 1.
If somebody could send that link to my Twitter, that'd be great because I'll never find it in the chat. Chronotosis, I definitely don't want to sound like I was dissing the conversations in Banner Saga because I agree. A lot of the writing in that game is actually really awesome. And in fact, if you watch my video that I just did for Banner Saga, you can see me kind of just cracking up at a character that I'd never seen before. I played the iPad version of the game, and there's a character in the PC version.
Supposed to wait and then.
That is not in the iPad version.
So wait, can I not? I don't understand what I'm supposed to have been doing here.
But I was laughing my head off at this guy. So writing's definitely great. I just played that game 3 or 4 times all the way through already, and so I've read all the conversations and I know what happens. So that's why I was skipping them. I really do like that sort of kill confirm
dash in
mechanic
for
that they've
confirm.
got. That's I really do like.
I like it too. I think it feels good. This game got.
It's not very high risk, but it makes you feel like you're getting up in the enemy's faces, and it sort of has that sort of artificial payoff, that is nice.
This game got a lot of shit when it came out, frankly. It had a real delayed release, and it was definitely buggy when it launched. And I thought, to a certain degree, it was unwarranted. The game it's very Mega Man-y. Like, I feel like not everyone who was mad at it remembered how Mega Man games actually felt.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with nostalgia, right? It's like, the image in your brain of something from the past is very different from the way that thing actually, holy crap, from the way that thing actually is.
And now I'm dead.
Oh. Get good. Anyway, your memory of something is really different from the way it actually is, and so you'll have this perfect, beautiful, whitewashed memory of how awesome this game was, and then you'll play that same game or a game that's an homage to it and an accurate homage, and you'll be disappointed because it's not like it really was back when I was a kid. It's like that time that we played Deus Ex, the original Deus Ex, and it is my favorite game of all time. Holy crap, the game is so influential on me. But when we played it here, I could barely even stand it because just really old sort of control expectations and UX and everything.
Those guys take forever.
And I just couldn't deal. And that happens. So the thing is, a game like this, setting itself up to be this nostalgia thing, it's like, it's not like, when I went back and played the original Deus Ex, it was obvious to me that that my memory had been whitewashed a little bit. That I was remembering it kind of hyper positively. Hi, Brian.
Hi. Like you just double the poly count in your mind?
Yeah, exactly.
I think Geoffrey will almost certainly play the new Deus Ex when it comes out.
Oh, yes. I'll probably play it twice, especially if they fix the boss battles.
Yep.
This is amazing.
But anyway, the point that I was making was that but when you're playing a game that's supposed to be an homage to an older game, you don't have the other game right there to compare it, so you're not making it really obvious to yourself that you're getting it wrong, and so it's really easy to just blame the new game for all of the problems. And so it really kind of it behooves a new game that's an homage to an older game needs to actually solve the UX problems and be better than the old game in order to feel like it's as good.
That is, so you mean XCOM Enemy Unknown?
Yes, exactly.
Which is the greatest example of a game. That game plays like you remember XCOM playing.
But it's actually much better.
But it's actually much better.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's how you revive something. You have to say, all right, what would the standards for that idea be today?
Yeah.
How good would that game have to be to succeed today? And then you make that game.
Yep. And Cloudcraft mentions that there were some problems with managing expectations during the Kickstarter.
And also during every Kickstarter.
I mean,
the main thing that I can remember from their Kickstarter problems was release date issues, which is
because they did so many platforms at the same time.
They overpromised, like so many Kickstarters do, in order to get people excited. And they went, "Oh, we're gonna port this to Xbox, and we're gonna make a DS version."
Yeah.
And
do you have money? It's on your platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a.
That is bull crap.
Fire,
oh, Jesus
bull
Christ.
crap.
So
that is such bull crap.
Where am I? Okay.
There's a problem they could have solved better.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing that you're in a place where the ceiling will kill you and the floor will kill you and you're already on top of platforms?
This is the second level.
Because this is the most damn it, Mega Man, stop being so hard level.
And it's the second level, yeah.
So here's the thing I think might have gotten into their heads is that to appease their diehard fans of Mega Man-y games, they needed to get super hard, super fast, and be very punishing because maybe that's what they thought people liked about their game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's absolutely a thing this game does.
Which is just sad. Okay, I have beat Mega Man X 9 times. It is one of my all-time favorite games. It was literally the first game I spent my own money on as a child, which will date me, so sorry. But it was incredibly well polished, and it was fairly simple, and it was reasonable with difficulty, and it gave me a lot of different ways to approach the same situation. Does any of that sound like it's true for this game?
I'm early still. It's hard to say.
Okay. 'Cause I think I actually kickstarted this. I want it to be good because I want there to be more of that kind of game. But
Christ.
You overcorrect on platforms too, just like me, Ian.
What the fuck, dude?
How-
Well, no,
is it
it's,
knocking
I'm taking damage
Does it
from the fire while I'm holding onto it, which then knocks
Knocks
me
you
off.
off.
So you get-
Oh, that is
Into
this is a
crap.
fire.
pushback from damage.
That
thing,
is
right?
crap.
Yeah, there's knockback from damage.
How good or bad are checkpoints?
They've been reasonably friendly.
Okay.
Cloudcraft notes that he does not remember XCOM playing like Enemy Unknown, and so he played Xenonauts.
It's dead.
Um,
Oh no! That
What?
totally
cool,
just
instant
happened.
death.
I guess
That's rad. Oh,
Okay.
game over.
Dear everyone, don't have game overs. It's not the freaking 80s, and don't have random things murder you that have never happened before without some kind of foreshadowing.
One hit kill.
Come
Wow,
on, damn
that
it.
was one hit kill. Okay, one hit kill in just a forever checkpoint game is one thing. Like inside, yeah, they can one hit kill
That
me,
makes
and then
sense,
I've learned whatever. That's fine. But
Because everything's kind of a one hit kill inside. It's like,
Yeah.
did you screw up the sequence? Okay, you died. Try again from 3 seconds before.
yeah. So I feel like talking about like trying to nail the right thing to build for an homage. It kind of reminds me like video games. What's going on in your head when you're playing a video game is the actual experience you're having. Like if you're, when you get into Dwarf Fortress and you're looking at all those ASCII characters,
Perfect
you
example.
see blonde brunette. You don't see the actual like characters themselves. And similarly, like when I used to play older games with just crappy 80s graphics, I was seeing the adventure that I was having. There's a thing that was happening in my head that was the actual experience I was having with the game. The images on the screen are not the experience, and your actual memory is like this too. Your memories of things, you're remembering the fantastical version that your brain put together of what happened. You're not actually remembering a recording of what happened. And so when you're making an homage to a game or you're doing a remake of a game, what you need to remake is not literally the graphics and the levels and even the design. You need to remake is that experience in the player's head that they were having.
And so Cloudcraft's actually a great example of that, because the thing that resonated with him in XCOM was base management being more of a thing and deeper progression out of combat choices from Enemy Unknown.
Cloudcraft, I'm actually reading your mind.
Yeah, I want to say some temporary or some relevant stuff to Cloudcraft, but maybe we should wait.
Oh yeah.
We hear you, man. We hear you. We're there with you. I promise. I almost want to say, like, and this might be controversial, so I want to hear how you guys feel about it. Is Shovel Knight a better inheritor of this legacy than number 9?
It's a better game.
I haven't played.
That's a statement.
I haven't played Shovel Knight.
You should. Holy crap! We should do
No.
Shovel Knight.
I think I played a little bit of it once, but yeah.
I would be happy to stream Shovel Knight with you.
Okay, let's stream Shovel Knight at some point.
Shovel
That'd
Knight
be
is
great.
an amazingly well-built, well-polished,
Yeah.
full of love game that is doing a good job of all of the stuff.
Shovel Knight's also a really, really good example of a game. That's right, 10 combo. Thanks, great noob. I got my achievement for that. Skip.
Nice.
Out of the scripted sequence that eventually turns into or this is a mini-boss thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, because everybody can read text while they're trying not to die game that still hasn't learned from 30 years ago. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do like the designer note sidebar. Don't make your player try to read when they're dodging projectiles in a real-time game. They will
Well,
never
unless
do it.
you feel the way these guys seem to, which is that their text doesn't matter.
But then what?
It's true, their text doesn't matter.
But you're right.
I mean,
and they're
I can hear the voices of these characters you're speaking.
Are
by
you
the way.
engaged at all? Does
No,
it
no,
affect the
no, not at
experience
all.
at all? Are you caring about the story or the plot, or is it just a weird, feels like it needs to be their thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that they...
Yeah, this could have been
supposed to have.
Explosion Man and just had no dialogue at all. You're just running through and stuff's happening, and it's all figure outable by context.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
I feel like we've been here before.
Oh, we have. Remember when I died?
Oh no, I didn't catch
This
you
is the
die.
fire before the fire happens.
Yeah, I died.
Oh, that's right.
And,
I forgot that you'd gone.
You got
had
a
to go
game
back.
over. This game still has game overs. When was the last time you saw that
Cool.
text
Awesome.
on any game?
Not very often.
Like you lost so hard. We're gonna send
Banner Saga, but you
you. So
just
just
reload.
to look at Shovel Knight, right? You die, you go back to a checkpoint. Period.
Forever?
The end. Why lives? Lives are a holdover from when we needed to take people's quarters away.
I'm so
Lives
glad
are
we
a
don't have to take
weird,
people's quarters away
old,
now.
Dumb thing. Like,
I'm glad that we got out of the free-to-play arena. that you and I used to be in, the mobile free-to-play.
That's all
arena.
3 of us, Jeffrey.
Yeah, I was
Oh
gonna
yeah,
say.
that's right. Yeah, you and I
At
too.
some point, me and Ian-
we were in different ones, but yeah.
Me and Ian can have some regular beers. We'll get you some root beer, and we'll all just tell free-to-play war stories in a different.
Yeah, that's
Great.
Yeah, so I forgot. Yeah, so I worked with Brian at one
Yeah, we-
free-to-play mobile studio,
we each
then
had a
with
hand
Ian at a different free-to-play mobile studio, and then we all ended up here.
We each had a
And-
hand on the Deer Hunter baton at different times.
Yeah, well,
Me and you did.
me and I, yeah, he and I did.
I think we definitely all looked at Ian's work and were like, "Oh man, these guys! How do we do what these guys are doing at least once?"
Yeah, we did. We played. I remember playing the game Ian was working on in a design meeting and talking about what was special about it.
I remember that.
Leak Code has a very interesting question.
While the same project lead as Mega Man did this game, KG
Oh,
Inafune,
cool, that thing again, where if you go
I
forward
remember.
at the pace you think you should go forward
I
at,
don't
the
think
game
they had the
just
same
kills
level
you.
designer as devs. How much influence does a project lead?
Oh man, that's a freaking GDC
it-
talk and a half.
Well, it just varies hugely from team to team. You know, there are some teams where you've got a micromanaging, sort of auteur in that position who really does put their hands on every single thing and make sure that everything goes exactly to the letter of their vision.
And that
then
person is really unfun to work with and generally makes a miserable experience for everybody else on the team.
And then on the other hand, you have someone who's extremely hands-off and who's basically just sort of there to coordinate a vast team of other people who are all doing their own thing. And there's a negative end of that.
You get a
too.
much less cohesive product that tends to look much more like it was made by a bunch of different people with different opinions and it
Yeah.
won't all mechanically gel as well.
Yeah, you'll have it sort of be like kind of artistically imbalanced, where like the wrong person would a disagreement between the animation team and the combat designer would would go unresolved
speaking to
properly.
a lot of this.
Yeah.
And this is the great challenge, right? Like this is a weird balance that every team has to strike on its own. That is both an input and output to the company culture. This will be different everywhere you could possibly work, and you can kind of tell a little bit based on the games you're playing.
Yeah, I think most project leads or lead designers or whatever are somewhere on the spectrum between
My
those
game
extremes.
over yet?
Yeah.
With different balances.
Oh no, but
right?
I'm all the way back here.
So like on one side you
Jesus
get like the sort of
Christ.
Ken Levine approach, where maybe you cut half the game because you want to change it, and then somewhere else on the other side you get the sort of
Holy crap!
unnamed
I
lead
think that's
designer
game
approach.
over. Maybe we'll play a different level.
Holy crap!
Nobody benefits from this experience.
Sadists benefit from this experience.
That's not enough of an audience anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how many sadists are in the chat right now.
And that's you don't want to answer that. All right, so here's a real thing that's happened to games over time. As more people get into games, as more people look at games and ask, might this be for me? Might I get a good experience out of this? The degree to which you can rely upon very specific experiences that are super punishing and dependent on having years of built-up experience and literacy, like the less you can rely on that. Because more people want to have fun with your game. They want to participate in your product. And if you want to sell more copies and be more successful...
Well, I mean, there are games that are super punishing that are very, very
Actually,
popular.
like, so Meat Boy, for example. Meat Boy is a game that knows it's punishing and tries to be a good game while incorporating that well. I don't know that I could give this the same credit.
Well, the thing is, V-Boy, but they made some clever strategic decisions there where they're like, okay, yeah, the level's going to be extremely hard, extremely punishing, but they're all very small. And,
Right, like,
and
you
restarting
design
them
around
doesn't
it.
feel that bad.
Everything has to come together, right? And so, yeah, if your game's going to be super punishing, it can be that way in terms of, like, the player has to master something and they have to be very precise. That doesn't mean you have to go make them replay a section 90 times to get to the N+1 section.
Playing the same section again and again that you've already nailed is an inherently negative type experience. And
There are exceptions. There are games that you're playing for the experience of mastery and playing a thing over and over and over again until you get it totally perfect. Like, I will play near Kaizo difficulty Mario levels in Mario Maker. Like, I've beaten...
Google Kaizo Mario if you don't know what that means.
I've beaten all the levels that they made for SGDQ this year.
Wow. Ian is also better at Mario than probably anybody else in the city.
But it's like even that it's like you have to be getting something out of that 19th or 40th playthrough. It's like a game where like
But that's what I'm signing up for in those games.
oh yeah, and like for something like this, I feel like there's the process of fighting these same enemies again and again in this game doesn't feel like it's that rewarding to do it again and again and to master it perfectly. The way mastering a Meat Boy level or
Or an enemy in Dark Souls, right?
Right.
Like, you're supposed to learn each enemy's behaviors, and they're all consistent and not necessarily predictable, but like there's a certain degree of predictability that allows you to feel like I know how to fight those
and there's some
guys.
delicate skill that you can sort of so it's just
Oh, cool. This stuff's all insta-death.
Ugh.
Is it really?
I'm actively disgusted by that. So I want to hit Dudade's question because that sounds compelling to talk about. Geoffrey, do you want to read that out loud?
I've been watching a lot of Angry Video Game Nerd lately, specializes in crappy games. How much do you allow critics and ranters to influence what you are planning on doing, or like UI and stuff like that? We don't usually get to find out what they think until after we've made the game, at which point there's very little we can do about it. But we do, I mean, you do kind of talk about, like, what are people going to complain about? What are people going to, when you hear people complaining about other games, you'll think, oh, that's a bad experience? I should look at my game and see if I'm doing that. We definitely pay attention and listen and try to learn everything we can. It doesn't mean we'll always make this decision that particular person would have preferred, because sometimes a different decision is warranted in your game, or sometimes a certain trade-off is needed in your game.
Yeah, there might be a thing that somebody considers, well, of course games should have blah. And it's like, well,
not
Not necessarily, because of the choices that we're making elsewhere.
What they're saying is, as a player, I like finding blah in games that have other stuff. As a general rule, when you're getting feedback from either players or reviewers or sometimes even each other, people are much better at identifying the problem they had with your game than the solution to that problem. And they might not even know that that's what they're saying to you. Like sometimes, and this is the classic how to teach designers how to read forums thing. You don't read a forum and go, all right, what do people want in the game? They said they want X, let's do X. You have to say, all right, what do people say they want? They want X. Well, what does X solve, or what does X give them that they're not getting right now? Let's make sure we understand that, and then separately from the proposals we've gotten, sometimes taking them as influence, how can we address that problem in a way that we believe makes sense with the rest of the game? Mm-hmm. And so you're always listening for that. You're always trying to take feedback in that regard. Like, as Cloudcraft is saying, rightly so, a designer's strongest skill may well be to listen and play feedback. Yeah. I think they are. I feel like I've seen this boss fight in games before. Dodge the indestructible death brick. Yeah, so as a designer, you generally want to listen to what people have to say and get really good at knowing what they meant and trying to understand how they felt.
That's the shorthand Foggy and I have talked about a bunch of times is when people say something bothers them, they're always right. And when people tell you how to fix it, they're always wrong. Neither of those is actually an always.
Yeah, right. But it's like a good rule of thumb.
Always.
You should always, it benefits. You benefit from assuming that.
And Dunedin is giving us some high praise
cool.
here.
Cloudcraft is stealing it. It's a good standby, man.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to design purely by aphorisms, but sometimes they're handy just to remind yourself how to approach something. Because a lot of this is like it's directly against human nature, right? Like we always want to feel like we're right in a certain way, and it's important to understand that about yourself. It's just like a standard human thing. We hate investing in a decision and putting a lot of effort and time and care in that decision, and then learning it was wrong. Like that's never going to be easy for anybody.
No.
Yeah, the better you can get at recognizing that that's happened, and then taking the opportunity to both improve your product and maybe even like your own approach to things and yourself. Like that's how we grow.
Yeah.
Hello, Srogan. I don't know how to say that.
X-Rogan is what I call him.
X-Rogan? Yeah, sure, like he used to be Rogan. Now he's not.
X-Rogan is like, you're supposed to dodge the ball, Ian.
Yeah.
Ian, tell us what you're trying to do.
Yeah. No, Ian's playing this game the way that I play Nuclear Throne, which is aiming myself at each projectile and ramming it as hard as I can.
Yeah, I mean, that's a way of playing the game.
Oh man, maybe he needs to do the Mega Man dashy thing. Oh man. Since watching you play this, I just want to go replay X again.
I don't think that would be a bad choice.
In Cloudcraft, sometimes the best value you get out of an aphorism is the fact that it's compact enough people remember it.
Oh, Cloudcraft just sent me the YouTube video. Thanks. I'll check that out a little bit later.
See.
Hello, Denote218. I don't know if I've talked to you much, so welcome to the stream.
So with three of you on the couch, does this count as clocked in? What does that phrase mean?
I'm not sure what that means.
Feel free to elaborate, and I'll try and answer your question, Dinadane.
Oh, does this count as clocked in time for work, I would imagine?
Oh, yeah. So
we are all on our lunch break.
This is a lunch break, yeah. There is some kind of hippie Pop-Tart in front of Brian.
It's a flatbread sandwich. Okay, I would totally...
Hippie Pop-Tart is what that is now called.
I will happily spend too much money on a good hippie Pop-Tart if you can find me one. That actually sounds great, because I like weird Seattle food.
Made of real hippies.
Soylent Green is
I already had my rice-a-roni, and I'm not sure what Ian's doing for lunch today. But yeah, so we basically we eat really fast or during the stream, and then spend our lunch break on the stream.
Cloudcraft was saying that he mostly watches extra credits because it tends to give him language to express things he already understands.
Those
Yeah.
guys spend a lot of time thinking about language and sort of big picture lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're it's great because one of the reasons X credits is valuable is not just the fact that they have clever ideas and they express things well and they put together good ideas. It's also the fact that they that everyone else watches them too, and so you kind of
like a
develop
shared language
It's,
then.
you kind of develop sort of a shared experience with that.
Remember that extra credits episode where blah?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great-
They talked about the thing we're trying to solve. Let's solve it like that.
I was on their Let's Play recently.
Yes, he was. Oh yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, we should link your Mr. Driller
We should
thing,
do that. I'll probably put that up here somewhere and link his Mr. Driller thing because that was pretty entertaining. I love the sort of when you're playing a game that is weird and old and a little foreign. I love how much you love it.
I adore that kind of stuff,
You're pointing out and highlighting all the things that are the most weird and unfamiliar about it with this completely with glee. You're enjoying it more than you would enjoy something that was made for you, and so that's fun to watch. So yeah, if you guys like watching people with school child like glee playing, having very
Oh, cool,
foreign
this
game
again.
experiences. Oh,
Are you
holy
re-
crap.
oh.
And now there's a thing freezing me.
What?
In case anyone's wondering.
Also, here are brand new instructions for how to unfreeze yourself while you're playing Pong against these dudes and fighting them and the boss. And
I've
the
gotten
floor's gonna
frozen
drop out at some
before, but
point.
this was the.
Oh, it hangs out there. Great.
I wonder if somebody was thinking, what are the most unpleasant things you can do to a player in a game like this? And we can freeze him. make
Nobody
him
likes
completely immobile.
slidey mechanics, guys. Nobody likes slidey movement.
So I've read somewhere that there's sort of different cultures have different degrees of acceptance of things being intrinsically crazy, hard, or unfair, to the point where we would look at this and go that obviously isn't a good idea, and we're not sure why you did it. And then folks that grew up in other countries with other sets of expectations and other cultural norms would go, this is simply the way things are, and I must deal with it. And if I can try and vote that I am superior.
It's interesting because that used to be a thing that was perceived with by publishers and such. This is going to be bullshit. This guy is going to shoot me as I walk toward him.
Causing that to
Cool.
happen.
That's not a ledge you can grab onto for some reason.
But some are, and it's not clear which is which.
Yeah, there's tons of ledges that are checkpoints.
How totally ridiculous.
We
and
needed to say
unnecessary.
watch fingers.
See, Quadrilateral Cowboy solved this problem.
I was actually going to say Quadrilateral Cowboy is a great 30 years in the future from when this kind of
Come
game made sense.
on.
It doesn't do that, right? It's
Fucking
it's
slippy stuff with
mastery
instant
and
death
precise.
pits. It's just again.
It's just you couldn't read Inafide's mind. Oh, sorry, then you died.
Now, again, I think it's to be fair to them. That's straight up Mega Man, dude.
Right, but that's not the part of Mega Man that I think people liked, and that's a sentence that's super subjective.
Oh man, you got
to
so
me.
far though.
Game over. Cool. We're gonna play another different level because I'm not playing this one anymore.
Okay, so tell me about selecting
doesn't
different
seem
levels.
fun.
Selecting different levels.
Well, I mean, can you just play any level you want in the game at any time?
You can play any of the Robot Master levels.
Oh, so it's like Mega Man.
I was gonna say, wait, are these
Play
the,
them in any order, and then when you win one, it gives you something to help you with the others.
Yep.
and then
So
after you get all them, the Wily's
Level
Castle?
1 is Mighty Number 1, and next to him, you would have gotten a fire thing, and the next boss is this cryo dude, and I bet the fire thing's really good against him. And when you get the freeze thing, then you go play the electric person, and you
So
can
is
freeze
there
them.
is there a particular order that's probably the best order? But you
I'm
can do it in
willing
any
to
order you
bet
want?
playing it straight in a row is the best order. I'm gonna go play the bonus level. Screw
The
it.
Vermilion Destroyer?
Is
Is that is this like a mini boss that turns on after 4 bosses are beaten, or why do you have
This is DLC.
Okay. So the Mega Man X games did a good job of starting with go fight any boss you want, and then after X bosses were dead, they would do a plot forwarding thing that was
Yes,
Something
I am pretty much certain that's how this one works as well.
okay. Oh, you just have to collect all the things.
I didn't have to. It was just a bunch of free stuff.
Who's gonna see Star Trek Beyond?
I would
I
like
really
to.
want to. My wife doesn't, so I have to find a bunch of friends to go.
A bunch of friends of mine are going. It turns out
When?
tonight,
Skip.
What time?
7.
Let me see what's up.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what's up too.
Where?
Well, if I tell all these people, they're all
Disregard!
gonna show up, and it'll be
That'd be awkward.
it'll be weird.
Hey, you're fighting like
You all might be
non-copyright
weird people.
So just to make a point, I think this is supposed to be like purple non-copyright infringing bad guy 0.
Yeah, this is totally.
Also, he has
Cool.
mouth lasers now.
That was fun.
Actually, you know what? I want to go back and play Mega Man 0, not X. That game had like
Well,
20
that
years
had
of
a
learning built into
huge-
it. Cool progression.
Like hit radius or whatever.
Hit radius.
is there a way
yeah.
to stream old school GBA games?
With
I'm
a video
about
camera.
to
An
die.
emulator, maybe?
Oh,
Nice, Ian, very
He's
nice.
about to die.
yay! I did it.
Woohoo! Air
Star Trek Beyond, and Noob was saying that he would have gotten through the level 34 times by now. It's a shame you're not streaming.
It's true.
People could have seen a lot more.
Oh, that's
variety.
fine. The boss that you just beat also had that attack, but didn't use it until the cinematic afterwards because plot.
Yep.
Now for phase 2.
Just start, go, skip things.
Ludo narrative dissonance. Why? I do like his "I'm going to die soon" animation. He just seems so emotionally exhausted.
Wayne SG has a function where he has chat scrolling on the screen itself. Is that something you've considered doing?
Oh, so you get to see.
Well, I think it's also so
about
that you, the player,
Can watch
work.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I had super low health. That's not that messed up.
But yeah, so that we could watch the preview screen and see your chat superimposed. There are ways to do that. That I just didn't love any of them.
Yeah, beyond the scope of this effort, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of like being able to sort of see more of the game. I mean, I've recently shrunk our pictures here used to be bigger on my older videos.
Sure.
And I've shrunk them because I kind of want to
game's
see
more
more of the
important.
screen. Yeah, the screen's more important. And so
It's cool how some of those guys drop before you get to them, and some of them drop after, and there's no clear indication.
How much would I bet this is like some weird, stupid frame rate dependent, hit a triggery bullshit? That would have been a lot. Is this that level that's just a hallway? I hate being overwhelmingly negative, but like nothing I'm seeing so far makes me want to play this game over any of the games to which it has like a genetic relation. I think one of them is still on you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, great place.
let's not give ratings to games just because we are not game reviewers. We're game developers and
these are our
colleagues.
opinions.
And yeah, and we are sort of industrial colleagues of the people who made this. And the last thing we want to do is crap all over them too hard. Because we know how hard. I mean,
No, it's
I gotta say, I have made games that are much worse than this game.
We all have.
Much worse. So
Well, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I have.
It's important to be able to understand that we can look at a thing and then critically disapprove of some of it, or even as a player find fault with it, but still have a lot of respect for the effort and time and sheer amount of just give a shit and sacrifice that goes into it.
Again, most of the stuff that's bothering me about this game is Mega Man stuff.
Right. It's like
and
we've seen
it's
this
intentional
elsewhere
stuff, right? It's
It is not an accident. They didn't accidentally.
Yeah. Like, oh man, we're bad at making video games, that's why it's this way. It's more like we decided to make this exact kind of game that we think people are interested in, and it turns out that we're not having maybe the best experience with it, but that doesn't mean... Yeah, it doesn't mean something negative
A
about
lot
people who
of
made
this
the game.
it's very subjective, right?
Yeah. Like, what do you want to make? What do you want to play? Those are value judgments, you know?
I like the idea that this stream is soft enough that we're okay talking about our opinions in that way. But,
yeah.
yeah, we can
I
explain
usually try to avoid being too negative, just because I don't know. Occasionally, we've actually had the developers of games in the chat with us or watching the videos,
Sure.
and I always try to be cautious with that. But I don't think this team is watching us or will be ever. So I'm not too worried about it.
It's just those games were such a
Well, it's not just
defining
about
element
not
of my
hurting
childhood.
feelings. It's about
the rest.
respect and understanding. And again,
Yeah, exactly.
I think these guys did a good job making the thing they were trying to make. I think the biggest problem was that a lot of people who signed up for this game didn't really
expect this game.
fully grok what it meant to get an updated Mega Man.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like an updated Mega Man
Well,
2 or 3.
there's different definitions of update, you know, and I
Yeah.
think they maybe expected one thing and got another.
And that's a
But-
big part of like any game success, right? Is communicating to your audience what the game is from the outside looking in without requiring the player to do a bunch of homework to understand it. Like that's always a challenge. That's like a marketing challenge. And that's everything from like your art style choice to the way you advertise your game to what the first 30 seconds looks like to what streamers are saying to what YouTube is showing to what you can find on the internet.
That's more like it.
I like you just sort of one-shotted that guy.
I had charged up weapons briefly. And now they're making me waste them to break a wall. And it's a real bummer.
So this, to be fair, LeetCode wants to know what this game is doing well. Let's talk about that.
I still really, really like the dash mechanic. I think it feels really good pretty much every time I use it.
The animations seem pretty responsive. I mean, do you feel like you're getting the split-second responses you want to try and dodge this stuff? Like, do you have the tools you need to respond to the challenges you face?
I don't think you can actually hit those guys. I think they're
Not
just
until
there.
they
Oh, it's that
swarm
guy.
at
Eventually, they're going to turn into the hostile versions. There you go. Yeah, I think they were in the foreground until you hit a trigger.
Yeah. And there's clearly a way that I could have been up that I did not find.
Oh, they just charge?
They just charged.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool.
That's more
There's...
Maybe you can swing on that snake, and that's how you get up into the upper.
I mean, that would be a very classically Mega Man thing, is to sort of disguise an interaction that you might not expect, and through discovery of that interaction, allow you to get access to a swanky new place with cool prizes in it.
Did you say swankity?
Swanky? You might have stumbled on it.
I want the word swankity, though. I like swankity.
You can have
A
it.
swankity place.
All you.
That's more like. That's more like it.
It does seem like it's got a very good sort of visceral moment-to-moment satisfaction of landing hits.
Yeah, landing hits feels like a lot of the very fundamental stuff you want a game like this to do well, it does well.
I can. How many platforms do they ship on simultaneously?
Jeez, so
It's like
many.
7
Like,
or 8.
I do not...
Like that's a crazy challenge to take on.
Nice.
Like I can only imagine the sheer amount of under the hood, weird engine problems, frame rate stuff, memory stuff, weird
Oh,
hitching,
yeah.
aspect ratio,
And the fact
especially
that
in a
they
game
were
like this.
shooting on... That they were shipping on, like,
console and PC and
console
mobile
and PC simultaneously and all that stuff, like... They had a ridiculous challenge in front of them.
And I'm sure that there are people that are like actively working on stuff that they wanted to work on a year ago that had no choice but to work on more fundamental technical issues because those are you need to fix those.
Well,
or
and they
you can't
have
ship.
online modes too, which I'm sure just added a crazy amount of time.
That actually sounds interesting. I'd like to see more about that.
By the way, I want to put that I really like the experience as a player of targeting a secret, like seeing the destination of a secret, not knowing how to get there,
Yeah.
and like backtracking, you figuring out what I was supposed to do. It's more satisfying than just sort of stumbling on the entrance and not knowing where it's going to lead. I feel cleverer. You're the same person as before.
I think this whole level is just
Oh yeah,
3 or
this,
4
this is
different
all the fight this guy level.
It's the self-contained plot of this guy and his place. Okay, this is the end of Mega Man Zero. Looked a lot like, or actually no, X5 I think both had this, where the room that you fight the final bosses in has the
Keep saying
blueprints
me to
of
give
you in
up,
the
and I'm-
background. Like this is totally where they built him. Look, there's the Mega Man thing in the background. Or, sorry, Mighty Number 9 blueprint in the background.
I think he
That's lovely.
Did he
gained
heal up?
health.
He might gain health on one of his attacks or at some frequency.
I wonder if he goes into a mode or something where you heal him by shooting him.
I'm watching his bar now.
That's fine. Ian's gonna die soon anyway.
Yeah, I am. I have very little health left.
Okay, it's pulsing. Wait, what? Fine. Did you just get a compliment? I think it just said
Yeah,
fine.
it said, yeah, Ian, that was fine. Your play was fine.
It was fine.
That might be a translation thing.
Cam to PC, Xbox One, PS4, Wii U, 360, PS3 Vita, and 3DS were delayed. Even delayed.
Maybe so.
They were probably working on them. And as I said, that sounds like a
They did not set themselves up to have an easy time of delivering on their goals. I don't know, I have a hard time faulting anybody for ambition. Like, it takes so much just gravitas to choose to take on that kind of stuff these days, understanding the constraints. And these guys have been around forever. They weren't ignorant of this. And the fact that they, like, ship most of those platforms... yeah. Oh, that's interesting. What's he doing? Is he gonna
Roar?
not even my final form you? Or is this just a crazy attack sequence?
I like you could reverse direction midair like that. And just a game like this where it ends up being all about agility, just, I don't know.
It's like
Feels good to me.
memorizing boss's attack patterns, trying to read what he's telegraphing.
Yeah, it's like there are some games where it feels like, you know, it's all about avoiding the boss and making the right decisions at the right time, but it's because you're super slow that it's hard. But I like games like this where it's, you know, it's because you're super fast and it's demanding that it's hard.
Right.
It always feels a little better to me.
Yay!
Good old-
Woo!
I
That
beat a level, you
that
guys.
is a great. That's gonna be a
this
great place to
sequence.
end.
Yay!
As an actual victory.
I hope you got a really cool power from that.
What feature that you thought would be amazing turned out to be crap once we tested it? Oh man.
Oh, I don't know.
Are we talking about this game?
I assume they're talking about games that we've made. I'd have to think a while about that because I tried very hard to forget those.
Yeah,
and,
those are the war
and just be
stories
proud
that
of the
come
things
out.
doing good.
Yeah.
Do you have to fight him again, or are they saving him for later?
No, I think that's it. Mission clear.
It's good, yeah, because we're about out of time anyway, so we should probably.
I will. Anomaly, I will have to think about that if you come back. I'll be here streaming again tomorrow.
Yeah, we're playing Dream Break tomorrow, by the way. So
And I will try to have an answer for you because that's a tough one. There have definitely been features that didn't work out the way I thought they would. I'm
like-
trying to think of anything where I was just like,
See,
this
that's
does
not
work
at ship
all.
though. That's usually like you build something and then the first version of it you play it and you're like, that didn't go the way I thought, and then you iterate on it before
Yeah.
it goes out.
unless you're in a low budget game, in which
Where you
case
have
you
no
just
time
ship
and no
you just ship your prototype and you're like, sorry.
Or you cut it.
Yeah.
What is going on over there? Professor?
So,
I'm fine.
wow, he's just still talking.
Unidentified
That's you talking now.
Yeah.
Just
Battle
going
against
and going.
an unidentified robot in a red cloak. A red cloak?
Our database,
database
has
has
no
no
robots on file matching that description.
the enemy's gone.
Can you not mash A to skip?
I'll
Or...
return to base.
Oh, I could skip, but I figured we were gonna
Oh, I'd like to see it. I'm just
click out.
Once you're back home.
curious as to what they're letting you do.
All right.
Slow fade to black.
Thanks for coming in, everybody.
Yeah.
What should we tackle next?
What should we tackle?
We
next?
should quit.
Go ahead and
That's what we should do.
That's
Hey, Andy,
All right.
we're about to quit the game.
Time to make a game.
Yeah.
Let's go
Yep.
make video
We're gonna
games.
go make
Bye,
video
everybody.
games.
Bye, guys. Thank you all for
Mom's here.
coming.
Signing off.
Awkward sign off.
You have to alt tab away.
I have to alt tab away.
Which
It's not a
sometimes
good sign
requires
off.
us to drag
Why-
out that last
why are we a
sentence. It's a really
disaster?
long time.
Oh,
with the improv kind of poorly,
no.
but